103 kph. I got 100 on the speedo. We're slowing down. What's going on, everybody? It's Ginger on Wheels here. I'm riding the Inmotion RS at top speed full charge. This scooter is jam-packed with features that I've been waiting to see on electric scooters for literally years. So let me roll the intro and tell you everything I know about it. Are you looking for an electric scooter that can do this? If that's you, I think you're in the market for an Inmotion RS. It's the latest high-powered electric scooter, dual 4,200 watt motors, 72 volt system with a 40 amp hour battery from eWheels USA. This thing is just hellaciously fast. So the plan for the video today, I'm gonna do a ride around. I'll show you what it can do, and then I'll park it, show you what it looks like up close, and then I think we're gonna go back to the house and do a little bit of a technical walk around and tear down, because this thing can do really cool things like adjust the suspension. So this Inmotion RS, I unboxed it last week. I've been riding it around, testing it out, trying to get familiar with all the features, and it has actually become my new favorite scooter for streets. But if you're not riding off-road or in the rain, this Inmotion RS is like everything that you need plus more. It's the only scooter with a smart BMS system. You can manage all the groups of battery cells, you can look at the voltages, you can look at the temperatures, you can look at the temperatures of the MOSFETs and the controllers, you can adjust the power output in the front and rear motors. It has a parking feature where you can kind of lock it, and if someone tries to walk away with it, it's got horns and lights that'll go off. It's the only scooter with adjustable suspension in that you can actually adjust where the suspension linkages are placed on the frame of the scooter. You're not just adjusting the preload, compression, and rebound anymore. You're adjusting the geometry of the suspension so you can lower the scooter. This scooter is meant for the track, there's no doubt. I'm so low to the ground, my center of gravity, check this out. Just take insanely sharp corners on this thing. And this is the medium level mode for the suspension. This scooter actually has a mode lower than this. So if you're really actually on a track, you can get like knees to the ground low. So the scooter does have 11-inch tires. We've got the 160mm zoom brakes, but they're not the standard zoom brakes. They're like one level bigger. They almost feel like motorcycle zoom style brakes. You see right behind the brake lever here, there's a little reservoir, and I haven't seen that on any other brake levers before. So this is like a new type of it, more beefier zoom brake. And honestly, they do the job. Let's do some stops. No cars behind me. I'm just gonna slam on it. Ready? You can stop. It's all about the front brakes. It's like 30% rear, 70% front. Compared to the Cobble Wolf GTR, the folding mechanism on this thing is a piece of cake. GTR is like a two-person job with 15 minutes and some tools. This thing you can actually do by yourself to fold the handlebars down. It's got a nice, huge, big deck plate that you can stand on because inside of it, there's a 72-volt, 40 amp hour Samsung battery. One of the larger scooter batteries I've seen in a high-quality scooter. And the build quality on the battery is just nuts. I already actually tore down this scooter and I know what the inside looks like, and it is a thing of beauty. The battery is fully enclosed in a custom aluminum shell with silicone absolutely covering every single water ingress hole. So the battery is IPX7 waterproof, which means it's submergible. And the scooter is rated IPX6 waterproof, which means heavy jets and streams of water can splash and spray all over it and it's still good to go. So this is like the only scooter that you could probably ride in the rain and be totally fine. Even though I did notice one line in the user manual that says, don't use the scooter if the battery gets wet, which is kind of ridiculous. The scooter also has a built-in steering damper. You can adjust it with just one tool in 2 seconds. You can adjust how easy the bars are to turn from left to right. So if you're on a track, you can turn the damper on so the bars are really tight and you're not gonna get speed wobbles. If you're riding like me right now, I'm just kind of on a medium mode. And if you just want to do a nice little fun neighborhood cruise or go really slow speeds around the park, you can put it on really loosey-goosey and just have fun with it. You might be thinking, well, this scooter looks a lot like the Turbo Wheel Phaeton or the 011X, and you wouldn't be wrong. Very similar style, but the build quality is absolutely next level. You can tell just the fit and finish on this thing is beautiful on the outside and on the inside. Like I said, it's got that amazing battery. It's got two huge controllers. The controllers are actually massive. Like they have big fatty MOSFETs with steel cooling fins on them. I don't think there's gonna be people posting in the Inmotion group a year from now, hey, the controller on my RS blew up. They're so overbuilt, it's ridiculous. They're like twice the size of the GTR controllers, and there's two of them. The GTR controller is a 2-in-1, powers both the motors. This scooter has a controller in the front and the back. They're both beefy and they're separated really far apart so they're not collecting heat from one another. They're like bolted to the frame of the scooter along with the battery, so this frame of the scooter on the underside actually acts as a giant heat sink. I feel like I could just hammer on this thing full throttle all day and not even have to worry. And if I did get worried, I could just open up my app and literally check the temperatures for this cell group. Yeah, I feel like I could just do that all day, honestly. It's so stable. With the steering damper, it's not that tight right now, like I said, but I still feel comfortable riding with one hand, 40 kph, so it's tight enough, but still loose enough that I feel comfortable doing little tight turns. Whew, never been down this hill before. This is a steep one. Where did this thing come from? Look at this hill. Oh, we're gonna have to go up this. How fast can the scooter go up this hill? This guy's on a motorcycle. Should we try and pass him? Slow poke. There are some seriously steep hills down here. I never knew. But guess what? We have this convenient feature that our scooter climbs hills with ease on the deck, and it climbs hills with ease on the motors too. They wrote climbs hills with ease 3 times on the scooter. All right, let's go up this hill with ease then. Climbing the hill with ease. 15 miles per hour suggested speed up this hill. I think we're gonna go faster. We're gonna climb the hill with ease, right? Inmotion? Well, it is definitely climbing the hill with ease, no doubt about that. Steepest hill I've ever seen, 60 kilometers an hour right up the hill. Wow, this thing, the hill climbing power is ridiculous. I can finesse and accelerate and stuff going up the steepest hill in the neighborhood. All right, let's roll down to the park and I'll do a little walk around, show you what this thing looks like up close, because it's a thing of beauty, it really is. I went on the Seattle Saturday night ride last night with the crew, and one thing that a bunch of people said is that the lights on this thing are really, really visible. So it's just like the V-Set, where it just has those tiny little yellow bulbs in all 4 corners of the deck, but they're super bright. I don't know, they're like a different type of LED, and also they reflect off of the swing arms. The swing arms have sort of an indentation in them that reflects the light all around. So basically the front and rear swing arms light up when you turn the lights on. The headlight though, I can't get it to adjust, and it just flops down all the time, and it's a really skinny straight line. I hate the headlights on this thing. So I've got my PEV firelights on top in case you can't tell. Oh, should we just obliterate these cars up the hill? Goodbye. I can hear the husband in that car. Dear, is that gentleman going 60 miles an hour in that electric scooter? Yes, honey. This thing does have electronic brakes that assist when you're stopping, but they're not very powerful at all. You're not gonna blow the controllers with them, and you're not gonna get like thrown off when they engage. They're very subtle, they kick on very smoothly, and you hardly notice they're there. This is so ridiculously fast, oh my God. Oh, wow. Don't fail me now, Inmotion. This is pretty much as close to a track as I can get. Oh, I got 103 kph. I got 100 on the speedo. We're slowing down. Just took a little crouching, that was all. Was stuck around 95, gave it a little crouch-a-roni with cheese, and it got up above 100. That wasn't me, by the way. That was a ghost rider. That was a voiceover. Yeah, that wasn't me. And we have got sine wave controllers, so we can modulate the acceleration down to speeds like this. Older versions of scooters, and some of them, a lot of them are still for sale, they have square wave controllers, and it's just very on or off. You get all the power or none. But thank you, sine wave controllers, we can slowly modulate the power now at infantile speeds. This is good. Anyway, let's check out the scooter. All right, so here it is up close. Got these handlebars, and there's our quarter twist throttle. You can see it's really hard to get used to. You kind of have to like barely grip with your pinky ring and middle fingers, and then only grip with your pointer finger on the bar and use that as accelerator. It's weird. The display though, I do love. It's hard to see on the GoPro, but it is very easy to see in real life. You have miles per hour. P is my parking gear, which turns on automatically after the scooter stopped for a couple seconds. If I push any button, then now it says X. That's the mode that we're in now. It says 2-wheel drive, but if I hold this middle button, it'll go to front wheel drive and rear wheel drive, or BWD, which is back wheel drive. So this is the only scooter where you can change, do you want front motor, rear motor, or both motors? This little piece over here is for all the controls. We have a left and right blinker, which are extremely visible, and in the front right here, so they don't break when you crash. The blinkers that are on the ends of the handlebars, like on the 9bot, they're just gonna crack when you crash, right? So they put the blinkers under here, now they're not gonna break. Brilliant, thank you. They activate by pushing this button here, they stay on for 5 seconds, and they're timed. The horn down here, very loud motorcycle horn. Standard fare for electric scooters at this price range. The lights leave a lot to be desired as far as the headlight goes. It's just that's it. It's like a really skinny, super narrow light. I don't get why anyone would want that. It's for visibility, like so cars can see you, not so you can ride and go fast. These little suckers down here, these things are hellaciously bright at night. They're almost annoyingly bright. They're too bright, but that's good. I'll take that any day. Then there's 2 more back here, and this thing is like a really bright LED bar, and it flashes when you hit the brakes. But if you've seen like the BMW X5s that have those LEDs that go along the back, and they're just the strip like this, you know the style of LED I'm talking about. They're just really, really bright. And these are our beefed up zoom brakes. We need to start seeing these zoom brakes on all the scooters. It's like 1 step above the normal zooms. And these rotors look thick. These are like 3, maybe 4 millimeters thick. The brakes on this thing are sweet. They leave nothing to be desired. I love the brakes. The folding mechanism right here, you just pop this screw out, fold the piece down, and then the bars go down. It's really easy, very straightforward to use. We have a height adjustment on the handlebars right here. I can literally change the height of the handlebars just by unscrewing and screwing 4 screws. For more luxurious cruising rides, you want the bars taller, and for track or racing, you want them down lower. I have the suspension on the middle mode so I can deal with any imperfections in the street, and then I have the bars on the lower mode so that I can race it around without getting speed wobbles, and you can crouch down really low into corners and things with the bars lower. Plus, you can physically crouch your body and get faster top speed like I was doing down that hill. Like I was saying, the scooter is very water resistant. IPX6 for the body and IPX7 for the battery, which is borderline waterproof, but it has no fenders and it has street tires, so don't ride it in the rain, but it can get wet, so just go with that. The scooter does have detachable motors though, if you need to change a flat. The detachable motor, you can unscrew the motor right here, take the 2 lug nuts off and pull the motor off, and like go take it to your workbench and pull the tire off. You don't have to pull the tire off and finagle with it right next to the scooter and have it like attached. That was so annoying. But now you can just take the tire off and go work on it. Or if you need to ship it somewhere, you can take the tire or the motor off and just ship the motor, you know? Not a huge deal anymore. So as far as gripes with this thing, or things that I don't like on this scooter, very brief list. The material that the grips are made out of, it's really slippery. It's kind of like a slick plastic, and it doesn't work well with any sort of vinyl or leather gloves. It's really slippery. So I'd like to see some different material on the grips. I don't imagine that'd be very hard to change if you wanted to. Also, the headlight. Obviously, this is just a really bad headlight for such an expensive scooter. I would like to see a full-blown motorcycle headlight with the cutoff and everything like that. High and low modes, you know. There's no reason why we're still seeing like a $30 headlight on a $4,000 scooter. Another thing that I would like to see, it hasn't proven itself to be, you know, bad yet, but I'd like to see these swing arms filled in more. This is a very cast aluminum, thin feeling metal, and it's got a lot of triangles with good geometry, so it'll be hard to crack, but it could be filled in more. It just feels thin. And I know on the Turbo Wheel Phaeton and the 011X, they had issues with the swing arms cracking, so this seems like it's a little too thin for something that goes 70 miles an hour. Like, if I hit this with a hammer, I'm pretty sure I could crack a piece off. And same goes for the rear. I'd like to see this filled in more. I'd like to see this made out of a more durable plastic. This wasn't cracked by me. This was cracked by the factory. Same with this right here. They screwed this side panel in too tightly, and it actually cracked this plastic piece in the back. So, you know, make the plastics stronger. Also, this little box, it looks cool. It keeps everything nice and tidy, I guess, for the horn, but it's not very aerodynamic. It just adds a big wall for wind to hit. So I don't know that needs to be there. I wanted to complain about the timed turn signals, but when I was riding around downtown last night in downtown Seattle, I realized when your head's on a swivel and you're riding around a busy city, the luxury of being able to look down and look at the button and find out where it is to push it again to turn it off isn't really there all the time. So it's nice to have timed turn signals. I didn't really think about that until I'd actually used them in a real world scenario where it was dark, it was stressful, lots of cars everywhere, we were going fast. You push the button once to turn, and then you don't have to think about it again to turn it off. It turns off by itself. Maybe we'll get to the point where they have auto turn signals, you know, where they turn off when you straighten the bars, but we're not there yet. As I was mentioning earlier, the scooter has a built-in steering damper. Right in here, there's a little tiny screw, and you turn it, and it makes the bars harder or easier to turn left and right. So you tighten the steering damper to make it easier to do on tracks, and you're less prone to speed wobbles, or loosen it when you just want to ride around casually. This is a very, very adjustable scooter, probably the most adjustable. You can adjust the height of the suspension, the compression, rebound, dampening. You can adjust the height of the handlebars. You can adjust pretty much everything except the length of the actual scooter. The tire size is 90, 65, 6.5, so standard 11-inch tires, and they feel fine. I'm rocking 45 PSI right now. I was doing some great turns with them. They're not as grippy as PMTs. If you're tracking the scooter, probably get those, but they're absolutely not necessary. The scooter performs absolutely phenomenally out of the box. It's got a cruise control button in the middle here. If you have cruise control activated in the app, you can just click this little button right here when you're riding, and a little symbol comes up on the screen, and you don't have to hold the throttle anymore. It's really nice. You don't have to hold the cruise control or do any funny business. Literally just tap the button when you're riding and cruise control turns on. Love it. It's hard to describe why this scooter makes me so excited just by looking at it from the outside, because I've seen the inside, and the inside is just so good. I'll show you on the screen now, but this thing can monitor every single aspect of the internals of the scooter, and it's got codes for everything that goes wrong. The code starts with a 1 for the front motor or a 2 for the rear motor, so you can isolate what exactly is going wrong in the scooter really easily. Everything's very modular, very compartmentalized, super easy to replace. It just looks like a very well thought out, well-built scooter, and the battery casing is phenomenal. It's such a well-built scooter. If something does go wrong with the scooter in the long run, I think it's going to be pieces of the frame cracking, or just from screws coming loose probably, but I don't think that people are gonna have blown controllers on this scooter at all. So when you're stopped on the RS and you park and you do something with your pockets, it turns into a P mode after about a minute, and then if you hit any button, it turns into the riding mode you were in before, and you can zoom away. It makes it so you can't accidentally whiskey throttle it by grabbing your scooter for the first time in a couple minutes and just sending it into a wall, which I've seen lots of people do on Surons. This headlight, first of all, you can't tighten it with the tool they include, and then when you do tighten it into place, if you want to adjust it at all and move it up or down, the screws come loose, so it's floppy again. So you have to bring the tool with you. It's super annoying. Oh, hey, look, it's a Rivian truck. Super nice electric truck on an electric scooter.
If you're still watching, then make sure to check out the link to the Inmotion RS that I've included in the description down below. eWheels has only got a handful of these machines available, so go place a pre-order if you're interested. You can always cancel an eWheels pre-order for free, but you can't buy one later if they're sold out. Thanks again everybody for watching. Subscribe, and I'll catch you for the next video.